Let's travel from New York to California. What would be the fastest way to get from the red dot on this map to the yellow dot on the map? By water. You can't go across the land. Would you follow the red arrow up to the north or the red arrow down to the south? Our essential questions today are: what is the Panama Canal? Who built it and why? By the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain the benefits of the canal and the struggles that were overcome to build it. Think of the Panama Canal as the world's most important shortcut. Take out your notebooks and jot down this important vocabulary. Canal, an area of water dug across land. It connects two bodies of water so that ships can travel between them. An isthmus, we've heard this word before, is a narrow strip of land that has water on both sides and connects two larger bodies of water. Let's consider this warm-up question before we get started. Imagine you owned a clothing business in New York City in the 1800s, and you wanted to get your clothes to a new store in California. How would you get them there? Consider the following. There are no planes, and trains are too expensive. Sea travel around Cape Horn, the southern tip of South America, is very dangerous. And it will take months to travel by ship around the tip of South America. What would you do? How would you get your clothes to California? If a canal was built on the isthmus between North and South America, the trip would be shortened by 8,000 miles. Think how much time that would save, and it would be a less dangerous trip than traveling around the southern tip of South America. To get from New York City to San Francisco, it used to take 13,000 miles. With the Panama Canal, it's cut that trip to 5,200 miles. Let's look at the history behind the Panama Canal. In 1513, Vasco Núñez de Balboa crossed the Isthmus of Panama and became the first European to see the Pacific Ocean. He crossed Panama on foot. In 1534, the King of Spain wanted to build a canal through Panama, but he just didn't know how to do it. It took until 1835 France was given a permit to build the canal. In 1881, France started to build the canal, but gave up after 8 years of trying. In 1904, the United States begins working on the canal, and it's completed in 1914. Why did it take so long to build the canal? What made France give up? On the next few slides, you will see images taken during the building of the canal. Think about the challenges that were faced while building the canal in Panama, and we'll talk about it after you look at the images. These are pictures of the landscape they were working with in Panama. After they cut through the jungle, this is the landscape they were working with. They were constructing with and without machinery. Here's another look at the terrain and the workforce. So what's the big deal? So what made this project so tough? There was a lot of manual labor. Over 80,000 people worked on this project. It was hot and humid, 100-degree temperatures, working in the jungle. Over 5,000 people died during this project. And many suffered from disease such as malaria and yellow fever from mosquito bites. The picture on the right is a machine pulled by horses spraying for mosquitoes. Let's take a look at how the canal worked when it was done. The Panama Canal was built to follow the natural rise and fall of the land. It was a major engineering project of the time. A lock system was built to raise and lower ships to get them over the hilly terrain between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Believe it or not, it's an 8-hour trip for a ship to get through the Panama Canal. The canal is 51 miles long. Boats often wait in traffic jams for 20 hours during their return through the canal. Let's take a closer look at what a lock system is. The boat on the left is waiting to go through a lock. The water's going to rise and lift that boat to meet the level of the lock. After the water rises, the picture on the right shows the lock door opens so the boat can sail through. Let's do a quick check of what we've learned. What was the benefit to building the Panama Canal? Cheaper transporting of goods around the world, less dangerous trip around Cape Horn, faster transportation around the world, or all of the above. If you said all of the above, you'd be correct. What made the building of the Panama Canal so difficult? Weather, landscape, physical work, or disease? If you said all of these, you would be correct. The weather, landscape, physical work, and disease made the building of the Panama Canal so difficult. Let's review our objectives. You should be able to explain the benefits of the canal and the struggles that were overcome to build it. If you're not sure, you can go back and watch the video. In our next few lessons, we're going to stay in Central America and take a closer look at Cuba and Puerto Rico.